Welcome back to the GBGuns Armory series. This is on YouTube, going on the second channel. On Rumble, it's going all on the same channel. In this series, it's my intent to become the Reddit thread, if you will, and have everyone voice their thoughts, feels, and experiences. Please annotate which one they are before you comment, since in the gun world there seems to be a lot of feels that get portrayed as facts. But anyways, since I've already covered facts and performance in depth in the tabletop video, the range video, and the article, check the pinned comment for more details on this guy. This video gives me a chance to give you guys a little more thoughts and feels. And today we're talking about the BUL Armory Ultralight. This little guy, 3 1/4 inch barrel, 16 round 9mm double stack at 1911. Is the update and replacement to the SAS2 Ultralight 3.25 that was my first BUL Armory experience. And apologize if you heard this before, but when I first got that thing in, I opened it up and said, wow, this is beautiful, and I was just awestruck at the quality of it. However, I also was a little apprehensive about shooting it, because generally short-barreled guns are snappy, generally lightweight guns are snappy, and here's a lightweight short-barreled gun. So snappy plus a superb double-stack 1911 trigger from a company whose pedigree is in competition guns made me a little bit apprehensive. Shot the thing, I was blown away. I was so moved that the SAS2 Ultralight 3.25 became my summer carry. Carried it all summer, took it to courses, trained with it, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's right, having, well, 16 rounds is still more than your Glock 19. But that short barrel, I liked it enough that I trained with it in courses. When I saw and heard at IWA Classics in Nuremberg, Germany, that the Ultralight was being changed, I was a little worried because I liked the thing. I was like, don't fix it, it ain't broke. But I should have known better. I should have known to have more faith in the BUL Armory folks. All of the changes that they made were smart ones, and all but one I really like. They got rid of the incredible fluted barrel for this kind of more scallop relieved bull barrel. It's still a bull barrel, but it's not fluted anymore, so it looks a little bit less cool. They got rid of the silver accents, which I kind of liked, for an all black, which is what people wanted. I get that. And then they changed the stock. The grip is actually slightly different. Not only is it the texture, which is the visually obvious part of the rest of their line. See, it matches that guy there. But the angle of it fits a little bit differently, and I wouldn't have noticed it, except I felt this abbreviated beaver tail bouncing off my hand a little bit more. Discomfort, yes. Uncomfortable to the point that I don't want to shoot it, no. And as you guys have already seen in the article, since the full review is already out on my site, I'm going to be swapping to this for my summer carry. For one, I don't like to carry something that's irreplaceable, and that older model is gone with the fluted barrel. This is the newbie. And two, the traction. As you guys saw, the weather when I filmed that range video was not the best. However, I'm not a pretty range shooter, I'm a defensive shooter, and so I shoot year round, and I hope you guys do too, even when it's nasty out. And here's the validity in that. If it's cold and wet, well, if you ever leave your house when it's cold and wet, you should be prepared, or at least know how you and your gun work when you're cold and wet. If it's hot and nasty out, and I hate heat, but sweaty hands, brain cooking, because it is true, when your brain gets above a certain temperature, it stops functioning as well. All these are good reasons to train year-round, and so I do. Plus, I have to film year-round. Covering roughly 50 guns a year doesn't give me much time off. So I was out filming in the wet and had no issues controlling this guy thanks to the new traction that's on the grip. They changed the recoil assembly, and I swear it shoots a little bit softer. It shoots even more controllable. You guys will see in the video. For as small and light as this thing is, I did not have much issue. Now, I do have a theory on that, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on this. I've always been a hammer-fired guy. I understand the arguments for striker fire, for sure. Hammer-fired guns' recoil impulse always seems a little bit smoother to me, and I suspect that's because not only do you have the recoil spring resisting slide movement, but you also have to arm the mainspring, which is what the spring that arms the hammer. And I feel like that sort of stretches the duration of the impulse. So it's less abrupt, it's more of a push than a snap, just so slightly. But I have done some comparison and shot. Grand Power is the one that comes to mind because they've got the two most similar guns where you can get the same thing in hammer or striker. And though with the current Grand Powers, I like the Q100 more than the K100, which shocked me after 6 years of being a loyal, hardcore K100 fan. I like the new Q better than the new K. I think the recoil impulse is still a little bit smoother on the hammer-fired gun. But this thing shot amazingly well. And I know some of you are going to say, yeah, but I can never find it in stock. Well, I have tips on that in the article. It's not quite like buying a normal gun. You have to keep in mind these are hand-fit, hand-assembled by smiths, not just people getting minimum wage to slap parts together. These are all fitted guns. In fact, you don't want to try to exchange parts from one BUL Armory to the next because they are all fit. So production capacity is limited without scouting for new smiths that can meet the same quality standards, etc. And plus, the more smiths they have, the wider range of fitment you're going to find in different guns. So, sort of like the whole, Nighthawk loves to talk about one gun, one gunsmith. Well, that's cool. That is definitely awesome, and it means that one guy put his all into it, assuming that he's good at all of the tasks that go into there, which it's Nighthawk, so it probably is. But it also means that from one Nighthawk to the next, you might find a slightly different fit depending on what that smith did. So BUL Armory's got limited production potential, and then they're in a couple dozen countries, not just the US, and selling competition guns to real IPSC shooters around the world is a big part of their business. I believe quite possibly more so than selling consumer guns to the US. I know we get the lion's share of their production, but they've got some restrictions there. And then also keep in mind the reserve system that exists over there and the potential that some of their smiths or some of their folks have been called up to active duty. So you might have to wait a little bit, but there is a system. It does work. I've seen comments from viewers and patrons who have followed that and then been able to get their hands on a BUL Armory. So don't give up on it. But this thing is absolutely amazing, and in my opinion, on paper we know for sure it beats the offering from Staccato in capacity, in weight, in price, and all of that. I also believe it likely beats the Staccato performance-wise because Staccato shies away from having a review on GBGuns, whereas BUL Armory sent this for review. It's been my experience that when a company doesn't want a review on this channel, and if you're watching on YouTube, I'm talking about my big channel, it's either because they prefer to have influencers they can pay, they prefer someone who doesn't go as in-depth or try as many things as I do and have such a level playing field for the gun. They want the highlight reel like some of the cool guys do, ones that use lots of these lights all the time, or they don't respect you, the audience. Those are the three reasons why there are some brands that aren't on the GBGuns channel. And I frankly don't care which of the three it is, but when a company's not interested in being on GBGuns, I'm not interested in that company anymore. That's just my philosophy. Let me know what you think about that. Am I being too harsh? I don't know. I've reviewed coming up on 500 handguns over the years. But there are some brands that just don't want to be anywhere near this channel, which I think is a little strange. Anyways, the BUL Armory Ultralight, fantastic gun. Check the pinned comment for the full review. Really, really impressed me. Even even that safety. It's a nice, positive, solid click, reassuring. Great carry option. I had to adjust the rear sight a little bit out of the box, and I wasn't able to finish that. There's a nice big screw up top, and then there's a little tiny screw on the side. And at the range, I had a screwdriver for that. I did not for that. So I got the vertical alignment. I did not get the side to side. Once I get that perfected, and I might try the new magwell that's included on here just to see if that adjusts or changes how my hand fits the gun. I'm not worried about being able to reload. You don't need a reload or a magwell to reload any faster. You've got a single feed double stack magazine. This is your magwell. This void here. Hold the side, use that as your parameters, and insert in the gun. You see, I just did that while looking at the camera. Like, you don't need a magwell for reloads, but it does change where your hand fits a gun. It does change how you can apply pinky pressure, and in some cases it changes the impact on the heel of your palm. And that's where it makes, in my opinion, the biggest difference for shooting. I'll shut up. That's the end of my rant. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you in the next video.